A second memorial service will be held at the State Theatre in Pretoria for the late actor Presley Chweneyagae. Now, he passed away last Tuesday at the age of 40. For more on this now, let's take you to reporter Mbalenhle Mthethwa, who is in Pretoria for us. So, Mbalenhle, tributes continue to pour in for Presley Chweneyagae today.
Yes, certainly, and it would seem as though, you would have noticed that the tributes were pouring in on social media where people were posting videos of his work and in a form of celebrating the work and his contribution to the acting industry. And today we see people coming in person to remember the life and times of Presley Chweneyagae. As you can see behind me, there are people queuing to go inside, and these are members of the public, family members, actors, actresses, colleagues, some who have worked with him, and those who are here to just honor his life and remember him. I'm joined by someone who works closely with him on one of the telenovelas that he was made famous and known for by the name Cobra or Cobrizi, as some would affectionately refer to him, the character that he brought to life on that particular telenovela. The person that I'm speaking to is someone who worked very closely with him, and in fact on the show they had what was meant to be an affair. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us. It's obviously a sad time for the industry. The industry has lost a giant. How would you like people to remember Presley?
Presley was larger than life. Presley was passionate about his craft. He loved people. He always wanted people to feel good whenever he was in a space, whether be on set or in the green room. So I think people should always remember that Presley just wanted people to be happy all the time. And as he said, I saw in one of the videos where he said he would love to be remembered for his great work.
Certainly. I mean, you worked very closely with him because your character as the minister had an affair with his character. And talk to us about some of the moments that you possibly would have shared and some of the tips that you would have exchanged in order to bring those characters to life.
Okay, when we shot the storyline, it was during COVID, which was a very sensitive time for everybody in the world. And first of all, we were all very cautious. Behind the scenes, we'd always check on each other to see if we were okay physically. Secondly, I remember watching him every now and then, him gearing himself into character. But I tell you, all the time, Presley would always surprise me. I was watching some of the clips where I would literally just burst into laughter and have to make it work while shooting. We had a very sensitive storyline, I must say, but the professionalism coming from him, the way we were feeding on each other's energy, I must say that so far, for me, he's definitely top of the list of the people that I worked with closely, and I learned every single day while working with him.
Now, we've also started seeing videos coming out of him on screen and off screen, off camera and everything. And it seemed as though he was the life of the shoot. How do you work with someone who seems to try to make you laugh at every opportunity they can?
Exactly. How do you work with a person like that? When you're home, you intentionally gear yourself to say, whatever surprise Presley is going to come with, I am going to stay in character. I used to appreciate the way he would also switch and speak in Venda. you know, and I would look at him and ask, when did you do your research? I'm practically saying that in as much as he was very comical, but he would also do the research behind the scenes and make it work. It was hilarious working with him. Like, sometimes actually it was a nightmare because, you know, sometimes you would be trying to keep in character, but oh my goodness, Presley though.
You just made it very difficult. Now, I mean, how are you going to remember him? I mean, the country will remember him as Cobra Wali Easy, you know. How are you going to remember him?
I'm going to remember him as a brother, a colleague, a father to his children, a husband to his wife, the one who would make sure everyone was fine in his own unique way. I'm going to remember him as the naughty one also, who would get everybody into trouble except him. I don't know how he always got out of things, because Presley was a troublemaker, but somehow we loved him, and somehow he would always find a way to also still accommodate us, even after getting all of us into trouble. I will forever cherish the moments, and I love him.
Thank you so much for your time. There you have it, one of his colleagues speaking to us, and right at the end saying, I love you, my friend. And that is her tribute. They worked very closely together on a telenovela that made Cobra, or the character that Presley played, which was called Cobra, very famous. And you've seen those clips on social media circulating, where people were just paying their respects and paying their tributes. People will continue to do so. Among the people who are here is Gavin Hood, and we all remember him from the Tsotsi, the first movie that Presley Chweneyagae premiered. And upon speaking to him, and in our request to try and get an interview, he said he was still gathering his words and he wanted to prepare for the presentation that he will be giving, or the speech that he will be giving during the memorial service that is due to start moments from now. For now, it is back to you in studio.
Mbalenhle Mthethwa is our reporter there, monitoring developments as well as arrivals there ahead of that memorial service of actor Presley Chweneyagae there at the Pretoria State Theatre. Thanks very much indeed for that update. To this